Hopefully a quick video, but probably not. We know how it works here. Anyway, so that Noah guy has made a video, that Veritas48 guy, and a couple of really smart and articulate and polite people have made responses, so I'll link to them. Nice arguments, all that stuff, but forget it. I mean, this guy, this Veritas guy, Noah, he's just a Venom Fang X in baseball cap, okay? He's just a game fucking player, alright? And it's just, they're being way too polite, because his rhetoric is highly insulting in the first place. And it's just this veiled crap. I mean, he's talking complete shit, very insulting shit, and he thinks it's okay because he does it with all this articulate language and with this little polite demeanor, and somehow then it's okay. Fuck you, prick. Okay, it's not okay. Right? You're just so full of shit. So let's get this. Look, label these guys what they are. If this person was saying, "Oh, this is why I believe in God. This is why I live my personal life a certain way," fine. If he kept it in his own living room, fine. This guy's selling this snake oil. Okay, he's looking at a career someday selling this shit. You know, his little book career. He's running a cult. It's like Matt or the rest of them. They're seeing a career light here at the end of the tunnel. That's what they're chasing. And so they're just contriving a rhetoric and a line that'll make them somehow valuable and somehow a sellable commodity in this snake oil competition. But that's all it is. This is insincere rubbish and nonsense. When this little fucktard can use a word like consistency and apply it to atheists, and the fact that they're a little chaotic in their definition of reality, when you look at this jackass's motherfucking Bible, and it contradicts itself in every fucking page. Every fucking disciple saw a different reality. Come on, what a pile of shit. If there's anybody's ethics who are, one could be skeptical because of flaws of self-contradiction, it's motherfucking God. I mean, this omnipotent creature that, I'm sorry I blew up the fucking world, Noah. I guess that was kind of harsh of me. He's a brilliant intellect, and yet he makes, fucking mistakes where he annihilates the whole human race. I mean, come on. I mean, it's all over the place, the whole book. Oh, yeah, turn your cheek 70 times, except if you step on a crack on the sidewalk. Don't obey the dogma. Don't throw rocks at homosexuals. Well, yeah, if you don't throw rocks at homosexuals, well, yeah, I'm not going to forgive you. Come on, you fucking little weasel. You don't tell me that stuff makes any fucking goddamn sense to you. And don't tell me you're not in this for selling. You're selling this shit, okay? You're not consuming it. You're selling it. Big fucking difference. You don't deserve a fucking polite response. You deserve to have your fucking bullshit shoved down your fucking throat. So, let's get to that part. On the shoving of the bullshit down the throat part. I hate this guy.
I remember I had to read No Exit in my AP English class in high school by Jean-Paul Sartre. And I remember the way that he describes life in that piece is total, it's utter misery. It's total misery. And I later found out that he was an atheist.
Yeah, right. I'm supposed to take that as a sincere commentary? You mean you read a fundamental philosophical treatise, and the guy is pointing out how life is a piece of shit, and you couldn't figure out he wasn't an atheist? It took you more than 2 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs or 15 paragraphs to figure out whether or not he believed in a motherfucking deity? I mean, come on. Well, who are you selling that kind of crap to? Who's going to fall for that but your goddamn little minions of Jesus bullshit assholes? I mean, you sit there, this pretense of your intellect, and it's all a fucking pretense. You think that washes with anybody? That's just complete bullshit, and you know it. Found out later. Ha!
I had to read a lot of Sartre and Camus in that class. I just remember. It's funny because now that I look back, knowing these guys are atheists and knowing some of their work, I'm like, I read this and I didn't even realize I read it AP English. It shows how little I paid attention. But anyway.
Yeah, again, how could you not realize they were atheists? How could you not? You can figure out from reading nonfiction whether the author is a goddamn atheist or a Christian or something else. I mean, it's always, and fundamental philosophy books, it's littered in the goddamn text. All right, I don't know what in particular fucking text you're even talking about, but I bet you any rational person who could read it gets through 2 pages, they know the motherfucker's an atheist.
The way he ends his piece in No Exit is very similar to your third option. The way he ends his piece is he says, well, let's just get on with it. Let's just get on with it.
Right, and you didn't know he was an atheist. He didn't say, well, God tells us that it's all going to be okay and we're all going to go to heaven and there's going to be a big, whatever, revolution thing or whatever. He's going to revelate us. There was none of that. So he ends something by saying, gee, we're fucked, so let's try to make the best of being fucked. And you couldn't figure out he was an atheist? Yeah, I think you're full of shit. That's what I think.
And that to me is really, that's the attitude that really follows from seeing there is no purpose or meaning to why we're here. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's no purpose or meaning. I'm sure that probably wasn't the whole story of whatever he wrote. But anyway, there are some fucktarded atheists who sit there and might say that there's no purpose or meaning. But for most of us, it's pretty easy to figure out what the meaning is, okay? We know simple things. We know it's not a good thing to take a baseball bat and go beat the shit out of a cat or your wife or anything else, that it's going to hurt them. So right there we have an ethic, a moral imperative, an obligation to take care of some stuff, because somehow we figured out all by our fucking selves that the feeling thing's important, that it does make a difference, it does have meaning, that it does make a difference whether you beat your wife to death with a baseball bat or you don't. Those are two choices, and they're significantly different impacts because of them. So we can know, we don't need a fucking God to tell us that. I mean, maybe fucktards like you need a God to tell you what's valuable in the world. I mean, you couldn't figure that out on your own. You can't figure out that your wife is a sentient creature and that you should care for her feelings. You have to have God tell you to do that, right? Because you're too fucktard to figure out for yourself. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? No meaning. Yes, we weren't intentionally put here. It does not mean that there's nothing valuable in the fucking universe. You dumb ass.
Ironically, at the end of your video, you say that we should always seek the truth, because to not do so would be to seek the comfort of delusion. But that's the point I'm making. If the truth is there is no God and no purpose to our existence, and if we see life through the lens of despair, is that not an attempt to comfort ourselves in delusion by living on as though there is meaning and purpose?
Yeah, well, no, what we should do, we should live on as if that's a reality. That's right, a fact that has implications. So we should be for birth control, and we should be for moderating our behavior and controlling how much poverty there is in the world and how much suffering there is. There's plenty of shit to clean up in this world. Yes, there's no golden unicorn to go capture. There's no fucking utopian whatever, blah, 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 cosmic blah dust thing there's no fucking heaven, okay? There's only a world of comfort and decency and dignity that we can build here. But we can do that. We can reconstruct this thing that we are stuck in into something, and that has purpose. It has. If we're born in a fucking outhouse, we can at least put in running water and a septic tank, and we can fix the fucking shit house. It doesn't have to be as shitty. And right there is great purpose, great meaning, great everything can be found through that mission. You don't need a fucking God to tell you your obligation is to live for some bullshit la-la land where you're all going to sit around and pick your nose forever.